how much does a boat weigh?
About 4,000 pounds on how we have it, you know, out. Much less if you don't have as much stuff as we do. But with the dinghy motor, the twin engines, the bimini top, everything we have inside, it's about 4,000.
Okay. Hey everyone, we have been fielding a lot of questions about our C-DORY boat, and we decided we should take an opportunity to do a question and answer about our boat specifically. So hopefully I can answer some of these questions, but I have a feeling that Bob is going to be the one that is answering all of them.
And it's a real quick, we bought it in 2008 brand new, bought it in Detroit, Michigan. So we've owned it since then, obviously.
So that was the first question. How long have we owned the C-DORY? So how many years was it?
2008, so, so 13 years.
And we have a lot of them written down that we've taken off of the YouTube channel that people have asked us about, and so I'm going to read them off that as well. So what is the size of the boat? The length?
So it's 22 foot, so C-DORY makes two different models. They actually make probably some other ones too, but basically a 22 foot and a 25 foot, so ours is 22 foot. One thing to know is when we went to buy the boat, we went and looked at the 25, saw the 25, and then we went and looked at the 22 at the same place, and it didn't have a trailer. The 25 had a trailer, the 22 didn't. So, but it felt like a toy.
Well, it was sitting on the asphalt.
Right.
It was just, you know, so that was really weird.
That was part of it, but I mean, the difference in size and volume, it was pretty significant, but I think it had something to do with the trailer not being there. Right?
Yeah. So, the next question we've gotten a lot of, the next question that people have asked us a lot is, what type of engines do we have? So
we have Honda 50s. And they are 2009s. They just came out a month before. They're fuel injected. Run great. Good fuel economy. And
granted, it's been many years since we bought the engines, but how much did they cost at the time?
Oh, they came with the package. I don't remember.
Oh, okay. And top speed on the engines?
Top speed on our boat is around, with both, obviously both engines down, is around 28 knots. Depends on how much trim tabs we have down and such. But
obviously, a lot of things go into that.
Yeah.
What type of waves, if the lake or the ocean is smooth, so around that many, right?
Yeah.
And what type of gas mileage do the engines get? Again, that's probably very variable.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, it depends on it so much. The speed.
But on an average, do you remember?
No. I mean, it like I said, it depends. I think we can get like 6 miles per gallon if we're going one engine down, and I think when we're going full speed, I think we're getting around 2.5 to 3 miles per gallon, but I'm not sure. There's so many factors. We do have a gauge that shows us that, so it's not as simple to give that answer.
And if you are really wanting to know that answer, we can research that, and you can obviously leave that in the comments below. How large are the fuel tanks?
We have two 25-gallon tanks, so 50 gallons. And I think they're a little less than 25, but that's what they call them, 25-gallon tanks.
And then we also carry extra fuel on board at times. We have these fuel tanks that we have attached to the back of the boat.
Yeah, we have two rotopax 4-gallon fuel tanks that we used when we went to Alaska. We also brought a 6-gallon tank, which we still have on board too. We don't always fill that up though, but it's nice to have that extra fuel just in case. And a lot of times we'll go to a gas station and fuel up, bring the tanks with us and fill them up. So
the other question is, how many batteries or what type of batteries are on our boat?
Well, we have we have one house battery, 2 starting batteries, and a house battery is about 100 amp hours.
Okay. And then, how do you charge the batteries?
It's charged either with solar. We have a 100-watt solar panel. Okay. Or the alternator.
The engine when we're running it, right? Yeah. And then we also can hook up to shore power?
Yeah, we have shore power plug-in also with, I think, a 30 amp 3 bank charger, so it'll charge both starting batteries individually and the house battery. And we have switches, smart switches, I guess. Not sure where they'll sense the voltage, and then based on the voltage, they will allow. So the starting batteries need to be a certain voltage before it charges the house battery. So that way you make sure that the starting batteries are always charged.
What is needed for yearly maintenance on the boat?
Well, the motors needs to be maintained based on the what's in there. I change the oil, fuel filter. It depends on
The amount of...
Yeah, I mean, and how long you're going to store it and stuff. So it's not a simple answer. The boat itself doesn't need much at all, waxing or whatever.
Right.
The trailer needs the wheel bearings to be greased or whatever. But
it's not complex. It's very simple compared to other boats that we had.
Yeah, because they're outboard engines, so it's fairly easy to deal with.
What type of trailer do you use?
So it's a load right trailer. It's a tandem axle, aluminum. Very nice. Obviously, it came with the boat, and when we put in storage, it has I-beams, aluminum I-beams. So we put the front up, or we put up stands on the back two corners, and then raise up the front so the tires come off the ground. So that way the suspension, because it sits most of the year, so that way the suspension and the tires don't get flat spotted and such. So.
And it has electric brakes.
Yeah, not electric brakes. It has surge brakes, which are hydraulic. So it senses the slowdown of the pull vehicle or just the momentum, and then the brakes surge on.
Okay. How much does the boat weigh?
About 4,000 pounds on how we have it, out. Much less if you don't have as much stuff as we do. But with the dinghy motor, the twin engines, the bimini top, everything we have inside, it's about 4,000.
Okay, and that includes the fuel and the water, and so all filled up, it's 4,000 or less?
Yeah, it's in that range.
Okay. And currently we pull and tow the boat with our van, which is a Sprinter van, 4x4.
And we've only done it just basically 10-15 miles, but we were towing it with a F-150, and it had no problems. Didn't even know it was behind. It was just simple, easy, and we towed it 2,000 miles out to where it's out in the Pacific Northwest. So
somebody wants to know, what type of anchor do we use?
We use a Bruce anchor. We had a Nordic tug, 32 foot, and we used the Bruce anchor on the Great Lakes and loved it. Never had an anchor dragging, so we did the same, and actually it's the same. I think it's a 22 pound on this one. I'm surprised I remember that, but I think it's 22 pound. Also, we have I think like 30 feet of pretty big chain, stainless steel chain. So we never move. And now with the tug, it was always like, looking from shore as you're hiking to make sure it's not dragging anchor. I don't even think about it on the C-DORY, so it's fantastic. It's really so easy.
Yeah. So you mentioned the tug, and so that brings up a question that somebody had. Had we had other boat experience before, or what other boats have we had before? And we have. Our first boat was a wood boat, Thompson.
Yeah. So that was right. We had that a long time ago.
A long time ago.
Then we had a Boston Whaler, which was a Rage with the jet engines in it, or jet motor. And then I found a boat on eBay, and it was a 32 foot. It's actually not a Nordic, it's a Sundowner, but it's easier to say Nordic. It's the same boat. And we ended up buying that and having it shipped up to the Great Lakes.
From Alabama.
From Alabama. And that was our first experience with a big boat. And then a month later, we took it across Lake Michigan.
Yeah.
With the diesel, as a single diesel, just purring along, and so we
had that boat. Mainly kept it in Wisconsin, and in Wisconsin, the Thumb is where we kept our boat. Up in Door County, and so we had access to all the Great Lakes up there, and really you can go anywhere in the world from any of the Great Lakes, and so that's where we had the tug before. As you can see, we're on a dock and people are coming and going, and so you can hear the waves splashing, so that's the background noise, and it may be jostling a little bit because we have it hooked to the boat. So the next question.
And a little trivia is, I'm going to show you the boat that's sitting next to us that I bought in a farm field, and that is the boat. And we had it. We never sailed it, but
he had this dream of
no,
doing
it was a dream. It was more
a toy, a project.
Yeah, it was just a toy project. It was something to do.
It was one of those things. What? Now we bought a sailboat that we have to fix up and rig it and figure out how it works.
Huge adventure in the middle of this cornfield, and we picked it up, and the trailer lights didn't work. Whatever. But anyway, enough of that.
We'll show you that at the end of this.
It's sitting right there. So.
Let's see. Other questions. People have wondered. We have a topper on the back of the boat, and that is called a bimini top. And many people have asked us where we have had that made and where that is from. So where's the bimini top from?
So that was made in Pensacola, Florida, with blue tower or blue coral tower. We weren't the original designers of it. Another C-DORY owner, I think Roger, gentleman, he designed it, had it built. I saw it on Seabrats. If you're familiar with C-DORY, then Seabrats is a site that you want to get familiar with, because that's where all the experts are. But anyway, I saw it there, contacted him. I contacted Blue Coral because we loved it. We just had bought the boat. We needed a bimini. We had it on the tug. We wanted one. So anyway, contacted them. They're like, no, we're not going to be able to do it unless you bring the boat down, which wasn't going to happen. And so just kept on prodding. And then finally, I'm like, no, I'll risk if it doesn't fit. I'll whatever. And so anyway, they did it. And Roger was nice enough to bring his boat in there so they could measure. And when we got it, it fit perfect.
So then they actually shipped the structure to us, and we all hoped that what they did then fit our dimensions on our boat, and then we installed it ourselves to the boat specifically.
Yeah, and it was super easy, but many people, and I don't know what the many word means, but I've had so many inquiries on that bimini top, and so I know that Blue Coral has done other ones, so maybe they have an inventory of them.
Yeah, sure. Blue Coral, we could sponsor you. Our bimini top came with blue canvas over the top, and then I custom fabricated more canvas, so we would actually be zipped all the way in on the exterior of the boat, and we'll show you pictures of this as well. But then I fabricated all the other exterior, the sides and the back for the boat, so then we can zip it all up when we're in a big wind and rainstorm or when it was really cold. And so that actually adds another room to the boat in the back as well. So that is a must-have on our boat specifically.
Unfortunately, we lost the back piece on the way to Alaska. We did the inside passage, and somewhere along the line it fell off, and so we don't have that. We have to recreate that at some point. But but the sides are the most important. Right. The back is the least important. But
and I made the sides with plastic, so you have a window, and then I also put screens on it, so you can roll up the plastic, and then you have screens, and so it was a really good modification to the boat itself.
Yeah.
So we got a ton of questions, and so we decided to break it up into 2 parts because it's going to be a lengthy, long video, and we don't want you guys to get tired of it. So we will give you part 2 at another time. Bob's going to show you the boat. He's going to take it off of the boat that we have it hooked to, and then we will show you that.
So here is what I wanted to show you. This is the boat, sailboat. It's a Chrysler 22. Found it in a farmer's cornfield. We went to pick it up. The trailer didn't work. I had my 2 boys with me, and they weren't that old, so they were like, the lights didn't work. It was night, whatever. But we never sailed this, but I got the rigging to work on it. But it's no big deal outside of these are fantastic boats. It's just a 22 foot, but it has inside sleeping quarters, and it's very nice. So you're saying this is the boat that you actually got out of the cornfield and you resold it? Yeah, I mean we're right now back in our home town, and so this is where I sold it to somebody here. So yeah, this is the boat.
Crazy.
Well, there's just not that many of them around. So
I mean, that is crazy that this is the boat you bought.
I can't remember what year it is. Yeah,
I mean, we bought this boat 10 years ago, and this is the one.
Yeah, this is the one.
Ridiculous.
It would have been fun to sail. It's a very heavy boat, and I'm not a sailor, so I don't know that much about it, but I know I put together that rigging because that rigging is fairly strong. And what you do is we had it on trailer, so you trailer it, so it's really cool.
So here is one of the boats that we owned but never sailed or boated with, but we've always had a desire for boats for whatever reason it is, and so that is part one of our question and answer for the C-Dory itself, and we will do part two coming up here. Please leave your comments below about any questions of our C-Dory, and don't forget to give us a thumbs up, but most importantly, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.